let it come up to your skull, your head, all the way up, the rising of energy and the joy and the ecstasy inside comes out and is reflected as you exhale in your smile on your face, on your radiant face. And with a new vision, with a new eyes and the eyesight which is transformed to see the world out of joy and bliss and happiness. Open your eyes. Thank you. So, yes. So I was talking about the uh, movie Matrix and how the movie Matrix is inspired from our culture itself and the sci-fi or the mythology of our culture. And have you guys seen the movie Matrix, any of the sequel or any of the part? Anyone?
No.
Acha.
Yes, I have.
You have seen? Okay. So in the movie Matrix, there is, first of all, the word matrix comes from the Sanskrit word matri, matru, matrum, which means mother. Matrix, and matrix, if you find it in the dictionary, it means the womb, the source, uh, especially someone which is taking care and growing and nourishing the source. So in the movie Matrix, it is all about how the machines, people have become machine and conditioned to a machine like living. They have been programmed to live a virtual reality, and they're enjoying that virtual reality without even recognizing they're living that virtual reality. And they are being programmed by some other people, some other machines, and now those machines have become corrupted, and these people who are now on the good side of the humanity or for the nature or for the planet, how they want to help them break free of that machine living, that virtual reality. So they also create their own machine which tries to help these people and help them awaken to their own reality. I'm just, it's a very, very, it's not kind of an exact representation of the movie, but that's somewhat the theme is based on around this, and how that hero that in the Keanu Reeves, he is someone who is trying to fight against all those machines who are making people live with the sense of virtual reality and programmed. So here, the same thing which we see, which we have been seeing that the people who are living in a virtual reality. So this is the virtual reality, the virtual reality of the virtual reality of the I am roles, I am the body, and it is like, what is the body? Body is nothing but flesh. Body is nothing but matter, and it is something like anything just like machine. So it requires food, the body requires food, the body requires some kind of movement, some kind of servicing. However, the embodied principle, the I am conscious principle, is not like a machine, it is life itself. So the life is using the body, uh, but what has happened is the body starts using life, and body starts seeing that body is life itself, and then it lives this virtual reality with that limitation, and it creates all kind of problems, all kind of suffering to itself and also to nature and humanity overall. So that's exactly what's shown in the movie, that how these machines have hijacked people, and they have put certain system in their brain which makes them see that they that they are machines and they're enjoying their game. Actually, they think that that is what reality is. But when the Neo comes, the hero comes, he comes with the intention to wake up those people from their virtual reality, and then he meets the source. There's something called as source. He meets that person and he tells him that, that is something which it has been happening for uh, uh, hundreds and hundreds of years. If you want to try and save them, you can try and save them, but it's not something which is in my hand. So that's what the source is. The source itself means the here, whatever the divine, the being is, um, and the divine, the being itself cannot do anything. So even God is helpless when it comes to helping human. Why? Because only human can help themselves if they can work on their mind and change their patterns of thinking and change the direction of their thinking. So the Neo tries his best in all what he can to wake them up. Uh, I'll have to see quite a few more times to get the grasp of it in a clear way. But here again, our philosophy has been based on the same thing, that the avatar comes, as we've been seeing all these avatars. Uh, in our culture, there is a concept of avatar, right? We know that there is avatar of Ram, Krishna, these people who come time and time again. And then there are also many people who recognize that this is something which is happening in a totally different way, opposite way of how these human beings should be functioning. So they come with an intention to awaken them, that this is who you are, this is something who you are, and this is how you need to live by. And that matrix or the womb has to take a human form, because uh, it the entire flaw is in the human mind. So you cannot learn from anything else, but only from the human aspect, human to human language and human to human consciousness. So the source comes many times as an avatar, or someone in the soul, in the human, actually does practice yoga, meditation. And the aim of meditation is to break free of the programming first of oneself, and then help others to awaken to their true nature beyond. So, this is virtual reality, and this is the actual reality. जैसे हमने देखा था कि what is virtual reality? Virtual reality is the ornaments, which are different ornaments. Like over here, if you see ornaments made up of the crown, the ornaments, the necklace, the bangles, and all things which this goddess is wearing, made up of gold. Its virtual reality means that it appears, it has a particular form, but we miss the gold. So the gold is the actual reality. So this is something really very powerful when it comes to our understanding key. Wow, uh, we have been living with a certain sense of identity, being programmed with certain social conditioning, family conditioning, friend conditioning, career conditioning, even most powerfully the physical conditioning. And that is something which makes us live as if I am the body, but the body is nothing but the humus, the matter, and the embodied one is the being who's using the body. So once that awakening happens, then as we have been seeing how life becomes like a play, uh, creative positive time pass, creative positive role play. So we saw that how when we recognize that we are beyond the body, we are beyond the time and space. And time and space, right now, what you are using, you are using a phone, right? Or maybe a laptop to see this and hear this. There may be certain icons underneath your desk under your desktop. There may be certain icons on your mobile, maybe of volume or maybe of camera. So these icons are just like the uh, interface, a user friendly interface which will help you access those programs. So but the icons which are there on the phone or on the laptop, they are nothing but, if you really see what they represent, there's complex programming, there are complex kind of software codes which are written for those and which are stored in the computer in terms of the language of programming or in terms of hardware networking, all those things. That is something which is not made us, not visible to us. What is visible to us is only the user interface, so that we use the icons and we get things done. So exactly the same way, our body is nothing but like the user interface. It has got kind of icons or sensors which we use, our hands, our limbs, our ears, our eyes. We use to get things done. But behind that user interface lies vast, like we saw in the beginning, we there lies energy, there like emotions, desires, there lies this life, there lies the source, there lies the purpose which is not seen, which is something which remains hidden from our physical senses, because that is not something which will help directly in this physical world. It will not help us directly in the physical world. Same way as your icons, the programming, समझो आपको आइकॉन्स का जो प्रोग्रामिंग है, उसका जो सॉफ्टवेयर कोड है, वो आपको दिखने लग गया, and that is something where you go and see and check every time. You will get kind of so confused कि which icon is for which one, what is the programming, what is the code. So what the nature has done is that it has hidden all the programming, all the power, all the resources uh, uh, in invisible form, which we cannot see, taste, feel. And that is something which is actually helping this body exist, helping this world exist. And if we only see ourselves limited to the body, उससे क्या होता है? We will use each other, just like user interface रहता है, where we are made to use certain things. We will only use, we'll use our relations to get things, we'll use people to get things, we'll use mother earth, we'll use nature to get things. We'll only use things and use people because we are not aware of the bigger reality we're part of. This is something even the new emerging science of quantum physics is mentioning and stating. Um, I'm a physics student and I have a lot of interest, curiosity in physics. So in physics, especially the quantum physics, quantum matlab, where they are trying to explain that the world is not just matter. There is nothing, in fact, called as matter. There is only being. There is only consciousness. It's just like saying there is nothing like ornament. Ornament is just an appearance. There is only gold. So what exists is only gold. Same way, this quantum physics says that there is nothing called as matter here in time and space. We create matter, we create all concepts about time and space, we create all concept about good and bad, about this and that in our sophisticated brain, in our sophisticated mind, and then we use that to create our own world, and we live in that world, and then we play in that world or get caught in that world. But actually that world is nothing but our own creation. It does not exist in the existence as it is. That is a virtual reality. So here all that we have been saying, that mother, father, this, that, even human. A human is a construct which is made by human being. Because if you see a dog, or if you see a cat, or if you see a tree, the dog itself does not know that it is a dog. A tree itself does not know it's a tree. We have given a particular name, a concept based on certain observation, and then we are interacting using those identities and using those concepts. But in reality, that reality is altogether different what is being shown to us by our limited senses. So this is a very big kind of revelation which is happening in current modern science, that they are also coming to know what our rishis, what our seers told thousands and thousands years back, that the world is an appearance and the only thing real is the life, or who you truly are. And if you want to create uh, your existence, you have to manifest your existence, then you have to understand how this entire system plays, how this entire system is working. That there is a virtual reality which is always going to be there when you wake up. It's just like you put on your headsets of virtual reality and you operate, and then you see someone and you call that person as my mother, my father, my sister. You see this body and you call the body as Alisha, as Rupam, as Himali. And that all thing is nothing but our construct which has been given, and conditioning which has been given by the people who have been living with that construct. What lies behind that construct is totally different, and who we are is radically totally different than what we imagine, believe ourselves to be. So again, very important thing why this is called matrix or mother or source is that, remember, as a woman, as a mother, as a masculine, feminine energy, uh, a woman is actually, a woman is a man with a womb. WOMAN. So a woman is a man with a womb. Uh, so the matrix, she is, that's why called as Shakti. Shakti means the powerful. And man means man. It has got nothing to do with sex or gender. Man means man. But that's the English term. That's why it's they don't have this kind of concept of Shakti and all that. But what you see yourself as the physical body is nothing but there's a mind, there is an intelligence, but that intelligence and mind has a womb in it, the source of creation, which is in the body. And what does the womb do? What is the job of the womb? The womb receives the eggs or the cell, the male's sperm, and then it helps it grow. It multiplies it. It gives it a secure, protective environment, nourishing environment. And in the womb, the cells multiply, grow, and become a full-fledged life. So you see, this entire universe, this entire universe is actually, if you have to ask me, God is a female or a feminine, and the source is female and feminine. The matrix is female and feminine. The nature of it is like feminine. Why? Because everything which is in the universe, it is growing and expanding. And same comes to our mind. Whatever thought we think about ourselves or others, we are thinking it in this matrix, in this universe, and we are nurturing and expanding it. So whether that is good or positive, it doesn't matter. The matrix will continue to feed those and give energy and nourishment to those thoughts, because we are present in that matrix, and most importantly, we are one of the highest representation of those matrix, because we can create our own thoughts. That means we ourselves have that what they call as, you can see the second brain, which is the gut. So actually our mind is nothing but the second womb, where we nourish and give rise to our own thoughts, attitude, and personality. And that's why it is said that pay a close attention to your thoughts, because uh, what you value, what you focus on, it grows. What you appreciate in life, it appreciates in life. So whatever we appreciate in life, whether it is something which is happening consciously or unconsciously, that will continue to grow in life. So the matrix plays a big role in trying to understand how we are going to make use of our existence, what kind of energies we need to send and pass in relations, because everything is connected to the part of matrix. Whereas these people who are only lost in the role and goal, they feel frustrated because of the relationship. Oh yeah, they feel cheated, they feel dejected, depressed, they feel scared, fearful, because they are living with a thought and identity of the body, that I am just the body. And then that thought multiplies, because what the body's nature is, the body's nature is only to survive. The body's nature is to only survive, and that's why only survival thoughts manifest in the womb. And then we are attracting only survival mentality, survival action, survival kind of life energies. But as we saw, the life which is living through the body, which is using the body, is not about survival. It is about creative positive role play, creative positive time pass, creative positive role play. The life here is using the same life. Who you are as a life is the same life here in the tree. It's just that the form is different. This may be quite radical, this may be quite mind boggling, or maybe unbelievable to grasp, understand, comprehend, accept. But it's the same life, there is no different life, which is using this form to grow and expand. But this form here is in tune and harmony with nature. That's why the matrix allows growth to happen the right way. Whereas when we are here in this body, we are not in tune with nature. We are not in harmony with nature. First of all, with our food, the food we put in the body, we declare that we are not in harmony with nature. Why? Because we put all kind of bad, not bad, I would say unhealthy stuff, which are not natural, wholesome, and that's why we develop all kind of disease and discomfort on the level of body, because we are putting all unnatural, highly processed and chemical stuff in the system. So that is the first way we declare that I am not in tune with nature. And that's why the very first thing also is about the way we change our lifestyle aspect of physical, through food and through physical activity. Through physical activity, again, by not moving around, by not doing right kind of activities, we again declare that this is just the matter, it is dead, it is inert, and we are not moving and growing. So that is big thing when it comes to declaring to the matrix and showing to the matrix, or making an intention from the level of I am in tune with you, I am in harmony with nature. So I am going to have a lifestyle, a food style, an activity, physical activity, which will continuously give that signal and make those interactions, make those actions possible, which will bring more and more healing energy to the body. Then again, the meditation which we did today, the smile on the face, how do we declare that on the level of emotions, on the level of mind, we are connected? Because you see, it is only the human being, it is only the human being who can smile. Have you seen any? Nowadays there are, but I don't think so. Have you seen any dogs, buffaloes, animals really kind of giving you conscious smiles? So the nature, the universe, the matrix has given the human form certain unique functions with which we can use the functions, just like we use our application, maybe Zoom app and other things, and then we connect to each other. Same way, this smile is like an app. So this is the way we can show, we can connect that yes, here I am happy, whole, complete. I am secured in the company of the nature of the whole. I am here sharing and giving and spreading happiness and joy. And then the source will start to flow again fully through us. And then that journey will happen in a very fluid way. So, as we saw earlier, life is all about trying to connect as much as possible. And connection has to happen on the level of I am, and also on the level of the body. So for people who practice yoga, you guys who are practicing yoga, you're doing your physical exercise, you are doing your eating, trying to have a healthy diet. Remember, it is not just to keep the body healthy. Of course, that is the anyways body is going to be healthy. Like in the West, it is all about keeping the body healthy, keeping it kind of fit, keeping it fit, toned. The focus is on the health and fitness of the body. But the focus on the health and fitness of the body is for what reason? Is for that with the healthy, fit body, they can indulge more and more in their roles, and they can get pleasure from outside. Till their 100 years, they would want to enjoy only their physical existence, physical life, and they have got nothing to do with the soul aspect of who they are. Again, it is nothing wrong with enjoying the pleasures of the body. However, that pleasure of the body is something again which has its own specific purpose based on evolution. Why we have pleasure to get things done to share, but that is not the end in itself. But over there in the West, the pleasure of the body is all what it is. It's the end in itself, and that's why they are all about getting yoga done in kind of the yoga studios which are booming, the fitness industry, the cosmetic industry, all that thing, health industry, nutrition supplement. Why? Because they want to indulge in in the world, and they want to exploit the natural resources. You won't believe that uh, American or a Western lifestyle, if the entire world adopts an American or Western lifestyle, we'll require around 6 to 7 more planets. 6 to 7 more planets we will require if everybody adopts an American lifestyle. And that is something which is unsustainable and unscientific. It is happening only out of greed, desire, and sense of wanting to get pleasure and hoard and dominate. So, so again, when it comes to what we are here for through our culture, through our knowledge, is we are enjoying everything. We are not denying anything at all, but we are using our body as a tool to get healthy and fit, to connect to the soul, to connect to the source, to connect to the matrix, and to communicate with the matrix. Communication, we know community, communication is to come in unity, to come in unity with the source. So we are using the body and the mind to come in unity, to communicate with the source that yes, I'm here with this body and mind, which is a part of the divine, and here I am sharing. That kind of attitude, mindset, when which starts happening, that's what we saw last time, is nothing but the Hanuman aspect, or the Lord Hanuman, which represents a mind which has oriented itself towards the source and the life, what it is. And so this is again, we have to be responsible for our system first, which is the body. For most people, it is going to start with body, because body is very easy to handle. It gets, you can get instant result with the body. If you do certain breathing practice, certain stretches, the body entirely gets relaxed, and then the mind, which is identified with the body, it can feel relaxed for some instant, and then it can feel okay and happy and blissful. But again, after some time, because of certain things which were not resolved, the mind will again come back in a ferocious way, in a negative way, and deal with relations in a way which is, it has not been trained and programmed. So it is just like curfew. आपने अभी देखा कर्फ्यू काफी लगा था यहाँ पे. People were not allowed to go out and stay at home because of the lockdown. It is like a curfew where people are not allowed to come out. So same way, when we do pranayam, when we do these kind of yoga practices, it's more like a curfew for the mind. Curfew matlab kya? For some time, you are not allowed to come out. That's it. But once the curfew is lifted, then the mind comes out with all kind of force and aggression, just like how we saw people coming out on the street, getting this thing, that thing, and then again there was rise in number of people getting infected. So we have to see what exactly, for what reason are we practicing yoga and our breathing and our asana practices. Is it for that instant, small, brief period of time of relaxation, or with the relaxed mind, are we going to think in a certain way, which is this way? Are we going to think with this attitude of holistic? I am a soul playing many roles, and I am always connected to the source or the matrix. And the matrix is always there to nurture, nourish, and protect me. Because in the womb, if you see, from our journey from the womb to tomb, our journey from the womb to tomb is only for the experience which we have in the womb. What is the experience we have in the womb? I am connected. You are connected to the cord of the mother. You are secured. I feel secured. You are nourished. I feel nourished because you don't do anything. Everything is being provided. So I am connected to the source. I feel secured. Then I feel loved. I feel loved. There is joy. There is security. So those feelings and that experience in the womb for 8-9 months, which is there, exactly that is what we here in our relationship try to seek for. That we want, I belong to someone. I should feel appreciated. I should feel valued. I should feel nourished. But that is something, our reality, once it breaks that, oh wow, this is all what the social conditioning is. There is always going to be ups and downs, and there's nothing which is going to be constant. Then that soul seeks for the ultimate source, the ultimate matrix. And then with that matrix, when it finds its connection, then it sees that, wow, I am feeling worthy of my existence. I feel worthy of my existence as a human being, as a life who I am. I feel secured over here. I feel protected over here. The body which is given, it feels nourished. The mind gets nourished. I feel nourished. So that journey from womb to tomb uh, exactly is what we are trying to experience here, which is of love, harmony, security. Uh, this is again something which is important, that Amitabh Bachchan, we all know, is in hospital right now. His entire family, but it has got nothing to do with it. But because there is one original Amitabh Bachchan, you may have seen so many different duplicates of Amitabh Bachchan. So the duplicates exist. Why do they exist? They exist because of the original. The value of the duplicate is only because of the value of the original. And there is always going to be one original, but there can be hundreds and thousands of duplicates which can exist, but the value is going to be only of one original. Same way with fake money, there will be always one real currency. Uska fake, you can create many fake. So exactly the same way, there is always going to be who you are, one. You are, I am one life itself. That's it. And all other things which are there, the virtual reality, the not the real reality, that is always going to be many and different. So we have to see, we have to be that original I am, because the value is in being that original I am. And then we act out our virtual reality as if it is a creative, positive time pass, creative, positive role play, to have fun and to enjoy life and enjoy life's experiences and to share our joy. Uh, this is also what we saw last time, but this is something which we didn't see. This is one of my favorite text of Bhagavad Gita. This is actually the human brain with its nervous system. You can see the brain and the spine and the nerves which are coming out. Of course, there are many more, but this is how it looks. If you see at this, it looks like if it is an inverted tree. It is like branches are coming down, and it's like the root is all over here. The branches are coming downwards. So there's a shlok mantra in Bhagavad Gita which states that there's a banyan tree which has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are knowledge or Vedas. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas, or knower of the real knowledge. So that shlok is talking none other than nothing else than the human body itself, and especially the nervous system and the human brain. And it says that the branches of this tree extend downward and upward, nourished by the three modes of sattva, rajas, and tamas. We saw that how our actions, the branches means all our actions, all our movements of the speech, movements of our hands, legs, all that is guided by what? I want something. I want to kind of get something, or even when it comes to I want to give something, that is something out going to happen out of our understanding itself. So everything is happening because of the three modes of sattva, rajas, tamas, which is the three brains which we saw. small brain, middle brain, and the big brain. So all actions are happening out of those. Uh, and it says that the twigs are the objects of the senses. This tree has its roots going down, and these are bound to the external rewards. The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. Means you can't look at your own brain, you cannot really look at your own nervous system, but you can only know that it exists, and you can know that how it is making me to act and speak and think. So we can only become more and more aware. So no one understands where it ends, where it begins, and where its foundation is. But with determination, one must cut down this tree with the weapon of non-identification. So what it means that cutting down this tree is not like you have to destroy our brain and nervous system. It means that we have to disidentify, we have to not identify ourselves with the body, and then those practice of yoga and meditation, all those which we are doing, we have to see that right now you may have, you are listening to me, you may have had your lunch some time back, or you may have had the food, you may have your favorite food, you may have told your mom to cook your favorite food, or you may have cooked your favorite food, mujhe ye pasand hai, mujhe ye chahiye, and you may have eaten that and you have enjoyed that. But after you have done that, that I had my favorite food, I have my favorite meal, right now in your tummy, it is happening, the digestion is happening on its own. You are not doing anything at all to make the food digest. It's happening on its own, it is becoming the part of your body itself, which means that you have no control over it. It's happening because of the body's nature. But we believe that it is something which is our nature. What is the body's nature? So we identify with the body's pleasure sensations, that and we identify with our likes and dislikes so strong that we can make our relations very bitter or resentful. We can become, जैसे मुझे यही खाना अच्छा लगता है, तुमने ये खाना क्यों नहीं बनाया, बाद में उसको लेकर गुस्सा होना, या फिर ये मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता है, ये तुम्हें अच्छा लगता है. So all our likes and dislikes, if you see, are related to our body and social conditioning, which is happening out of strong pleasure responses, the rewards. The twigs are the objects of the senses. This tree also has roots going down, and these are bound to the external rewards. So likes and dislikes are because of the external rewards of food, clothing, shelter. And then a person who lives his life from womb to tomb, just like a body, and its likes and dislikes, it becomes very difficult for him or her to adjust with someone, because that is only about my likes and my dislikes. But he or she does not understand at that point that it is not about me or my dislike. It is about the body which has been trained and conditioned out of unconscious, subconscious living. And then there is another way. I can continue to have my likes and dislikes, but I can present it. I can be more balanced. I can be more I can be better in my approach when I am dealing with people who are presenting their likes and dislikes, not judge them, and not try to enforce my likes and dislikes on them. So all this clarity comes when we actually know and read scriptures and know about our brain, nervous system, our evolution, which has happened for the body. As we said, it is only for survival. It is not for us. The evolution has not happened so that we could know ourselves. The evolution actually hides ourself or the life. So that's why we have to see that the connection which happens, it happens with the source, so that the source becomes awaken in us, that our life now gets, it's running from a different dimension, which is not just of the physical needs or the mental likes and dislike, but from the spirit, from the inspiration to give, share, and play. So the more and more we aspire towards that living, we more and more we become a inspired and playful soul. So that was about the Bhagavad Gita mantra, which is really very. It is not just a spiritual text. It is actually a text of evolution, brain science, mind science, social science, leadership, management, everything. That's why Bhagavad Gita is called as Nirnay Shastra. Nirnay means decision. Shastra means science. So if you want to, if you are confused about anything in life, then how to come to take a decision, then if you have a really very good friend, close friend, yes, definitely you can ask. But read Bhagavad Gita, open any chapter and see what it is telling, how it is describing. And this entire thing which I have compiled over here is from Bhagavad Gita itself. So what I've been talking here about this aspect, the other aspects is from Bhagavad Gita itself. So this itself is Bhagavad Gita, you can see. So if you even remember and take a picture of this, keep it in your mind, keep it in your heart, keep it in your head, that this is the way in which the overall thinking and the attitude of someone who lives holistic happens. Who is the thinker? Who is what is that which my goal is? What role am I playing right now? What is the goal of the role? Is it aligned with the purpose to share and give, or is it social kind of conditioning which has happened, personal conditioning which has happened out of likes and dislike? So this is very, in short, a packaged form of Bhagavad Gita in a representation manner and model. So again, this is entirely science. We saw in science it is all about making a inquiry and having an hypothesis that if this is going to be true or not, and then challenging it with an experiment. Like you make a question, the everything which falls, it falls with a certain speed, it comes to the ground, and then when it comes to the ground, it is being acted by some force. So heavier the object, faster it falls down. Lighter the object, more time it takes. So in this way, we conduct experiment and we report that there is something which is happening based on certain force which is there, and we make a conclusion that is the force of gravity. So whatever you are learning over here, it is science, that we have to see that I am already a playful soul. I'm not telling you that you have to become a playful soul or you have to create a playful soul. You have to see that you are already a playful soul, and you challenge whether you are already something like this: mother, father, daughter, friend, on all these roles. Are you a body? Am I a body or am I a role? So you'll have that question, have an hypothesis. If I am the role, am I a role all the time, or am I a role only sometime? Am I the body all the time? Because this body was not there 10 years back, it will not be there 10 years further from now. So do experiments with yourself and see, you'll come to a conclusion from yourself with this scientific method that I am already a playful soul. I am here itself as a playful soul, and I am here for that creative, positive role play, creative, positive time pass. And that is something which is not a social conditioning, but that is the existential reality, that I am a playful soul. And the more and more we live from that existential reality, the more and more the existence will live through us. And the more and more we live from only social identities, the more and more only society will live through us, and society will condition us. Uh, as I said, this role and goal, at the end, when we know ourselves, we use our soul power to serve the society only, to help the society only. It helps the society only, but what happens is that we help ourselves in the most perfect way, and then the helping of the society, it is just a byproduct which happens. But here what happens first is I feel that greatness in me, I feel that power, belongings, security, joy in me, because I belong to the matrix. I am that playful soul. I am that which is here to play, to share, to care, nourish, and I am here to give all the joy which I have. So this requires practice. It doesn't come on its own. That's why it is all about conscious expression and suppression. इसका मतलब क्या? Conscious expression and suppression. We need to know what is that which we consciously express. Because when we were in the mother's womb, when the body was in the mother's womb, you did not have to think that, from one cell it became so many cells. Your eye cells are different than your brain cells, your stomach cells is different than your heart cell. So how does the one cell know? How does one cell know it has to become so many different cells? It started from one cell, but it became so many different cells. So how does one cell know that? It knows it through the process of epigenetics, or it knows itself through the process of this, key there are certain genes. For example, in your eyes, when something goes inside, the eyes start watering, or when you feel hurt emotionally, you start, tears start coming out. So there are tear glands in the eyes, right? So there is a genes for that tear eye. So that gene gets activated in the, that gene is activated in the eye. So it will give tears. But in your stomach, you require acid to digest the food. So your tear genes will not be activated. The cell is the same thing. The DNA is also same thing, but that part of the DNA where the gene is, that will not be activated. What will be activated? Only acid giving gene will be activated. So that is the intelligence which the body uses on its own. We don't do this. This is the unconscious or subconscious or the body's intelligence. It knows what's to activate, what not to activate. Imagine the tears getting activated in the stomach and the stomach glands getting activated in the eyes. होते ना खून के आंसू. It will be crying like acid flowing out of one's eyes. But that is not what happens. So same way in our life, we have to see our expression. We saw this last time, gratitude and empathy. We are not going to, it's not going to happen consciously. We are not trained like that. We have to train our emotions that way. We have to train our brain that way. We have to train our speech that way. We have to continuously, even in meditation, when we wake up or when we are idle, when we get frustrated, bored, whatever it is, that is also a time to feel grateful, to send energies to people, to the body, to the world, and to continuously have a conscious expression of love, joy, because that will further help us. As we saw, it is all about matrix. We are the part of matrix. If we are idle also, and if we think of others in a loving way, if we consciously express, the matrix will help us further to nourish those thoughts and also make it a reality. So it becomes a reality for us once we consciously are able to program our mind this way. And this, everything about this starts, from our side. Just like how a baby, when a baby is born, उसको चलना कौन सिखाता है? Who teaches the baby to walk? No one. It is inbuilt. It is inbuilt in the baby that it has to now see that it wants to explore. The baby wants to explore the world. So it starts standing on its own. It starts using things. It starts sitting, start using the doors and the tables, and people to get up and stand, and then take support and walk, and then finally it starts to stand on its own, walk on its own, and then starts to run. So it is the need of the baby. The baby knows that it is my need, for which I want to explore and enjoy this world, and I have to become capable, sufficient, and dependent. I have to be self-dependent. I don't have to be dependent on others to walk like this. I don't want to be dependent on people, where I have to hold them, or I have to hold doors or things to walk. So that is something which is inbuilt in the baby, which starts happening. Exactly the same way we have to see what we are doing in our life when it comes to happiness, when it comes to conscious expression of happiness. We have to see that it is my need. This is the physical expression which is happening. This is the physical expression which is happening in fullest form. We have to see it is the mental, emotional, spiritual expression which should happen in the fullest form, or the happiness expression, that initially we may require the support of the body, we may require the support of people, we may require support of our job, relations, the world, the work, to be happy, to feel powerful. We may hold on to certain things, we may hold on to certain people, we may hold on to our body, we may hold on to memories, we may hold on to certain identities, we may hold on to everything but our own self. Initially it may be important, but we have to know, finally we have to let go of those things which we are holding on to be happy, holding on to feel powerful, holding on to feel worthy. Why? Because that is the nature of life. Eventually you are a playful soul who are here to be free of all the dependencies. So imagine this baby, when it grows, and it is just like holding on to the door or holding on to the walls, and it walks like that, holding on to the wall and holding on to the door. And it has it when it was trying to learn how to stand and walk, it fell, it hurt itself, and then it got scared. It said it is very dangerous, and it said, I will only use this thing to be dependent on the doors, walls, stick to walk. Imagine to what extent that baby will be able to experience the physical power and the exploration, the weakness which will be there in such kind of baby, and the kind of distortion and the way ugliness which will happen of the body because of this. So we can easily relate to the body in this way, but when it happens to our mind, we hardly ask any questions. We hardly ask that I am dependent on so many things. I'm holding on to things like this, like a baby, to my relations, to my body, to my this, to my that, to feel appreciated, approved. But eventually, I have to give my mind, my heart, the fullest expression. And I have to use my relations. I have to use my roles. I have to use my goals. I have to use my body. I have to use my mind to come to an independent expression of being happy and powerful. So, what a playful soul does, a playful soul uses all these things to find the independence of his or her own being and happiness. And what does a struggling soul does? A struggling soul, just like that baby, struggles with the roles and goals and the world. Does the yoga practice also, in terms of the body, to get certain things and to have certain kind of power experiences and all those things, and fails to find the being, fails to find the independent power of the being. So, this brings a very radical change in us when we see our entire life is programmed to have a complete expression of our body We have to express our body completely, which means the body is independent in terms of the way it is walking. Of course, it is dependent on the nature to feed itself and to be and to actually exist and to be healthy. But in terms of the way in which it is evolved, how we saw the example of baby, it uses certain things to walk on its two leg and find that state of independence. Same way, we have to evolve our mind. Initially, we'll use certain roles, certain tools to see that we are going to use these certain tools and certain roles to strengthen my mind to such an extent that now it becomes powerful enough, worthy enough, and it finds its own being, its own power. And then from that, it can help others, because it is said that the best help, this is very important, the best help uh, you can give to others, uh, or the best way to help others, when you yourself are not requiring any help, when you yourself are not in need of any help. That is the best help you can give to others. So when we become independent in such a way that we are not dependent on the world and become a liability, but we become someone who is a source and a force of all that which we can offer, then we can experience that power. And then what comes is contribution. What comes is collaboration. Then we collaborate with like-minded people. Then we collaborate with like-minded souls that who also believe in something like this of collaboration, who believe in something like this teamwork. It's not about exploitation, where I'm dependent on certain things for my worth or value. I have found my worth and value. Now I'm collaborating with you, so that it is all about this collaboration. So that is a totally different way of existence of a collaboration. So again, this example of how in the womb everything is growing and being programmed to grow on its own. Everything is happening, the nourishment is happening on its own. The baby doesn't have to think at all कि उसका फिर खाना कहाँ से आएगा, security कहाँ से मिलेगा. It is being taken care by the mother. But when the baby grows and becomes an adult, all the worries start to come in the mind, that who will take care of me, who loves me, who appreciates me, who will take care of me. All these kind of thoughts which comes in the mind is because we have not discovered our ultimate source or the matrix and its connection with it. So this example, I send it, the video which I sent of the butterfly transformation, that we all have to go through this transformation. This caterpillar is nothing, looks nothing at all like a butterfly. See, just as this sperm and the cell, this looks nothing like an infant. From this is born, this is come. So what they have found out, that when the caterpillar is in the state of becoming a butterfly, it is eating a lot of food, and it wraps itself in the cocoon, and in the cocoon its body starts to degrade and decompose. It starts to go through a lot of stress and starts to melt, because there is new form which has to form. So now, because of this new kind of chemicals which are released in the cocoon, there are new genes which are activated, which were earlier not activated because it was not needed at that time. Now those genes are activated, which is of the wings, which will give this caterpillar wings to fly. Those kind of, and colors, and other body features and parts, those genes get activated. And when those genes are getting activated, the old genes or the old cells, what they see is that there is something new which is coming. So the new which is coming, it seems as if for it is a threat, a danger, a foreign object. So it tries to attack the new creation. So this is again important. Every time we are going to change ourselves and think of changing ourselves or changing the way I think, changing the way I act, speak, behave, feel, there will always be the old patterns which will try to resist and which will try to not make us continue with our process of transformation. However, what this what this what these new cells do is that they use those immune cells also, because it requires a lot of energy now for the new cells to grow. So they do secrete certain chemicals which make use of those immune cell as their food. Matlab they came to attack, the immune cells came to attack, but instead of getting attacking them, they become their food, and then they help them grow. So again, this is really very powerful lesson that we have to see our all struggles, all pains, all suffering, all challenges which we may have gone through in our life as something which is helping us in transformation. Transforms, that nature transforms only through making things go through certain stress, making things go through certain state of emergency or crisis. For example, practical example क्या है? COVID, Corona, what it has done? It's a nature's way to create this state of crisis so that people go through this state of depression, frustration, anxiety, trauma, all this, so that they think in a better way, new way, different way about what this all is about. This spread of coronavirus, which happened because of the way in which animals are treated, nature are treated, business is conducted, the way in which consumerism is growing, the way in which things are happening on the level of family, business, society. This is something which the learning should happen. And for that reason, I believe what is going to happen from now onwards after this, there will be like BC रहता है ना, before Christ and after Christ. So same way, there is going to be like before COVID and after COVID. It's going to be a totally different way of living for humanity, in which they will conduct their life, because this is a major crisis which we are going through. And those who understand this, what is happening, they will emerge like a butterfly. Those who know the system, those who appreciate their existence, those who appreciate the matrix, those who know and trust and have reverence and love and respect, and they see themselves not just as a physical material body, but as a conscious beings, as a living soul, as a living being. They will develop a lot of compassion, empathy, understanding, acceptance in their mind, in their emotions, in their thought, and these are the change agents which will be born uh, in this time period. And that is in fact something, as an individual, for me also it's very fulfilling that I get an opportunity to share it with, even if it is one person, one soul, one individual, or 100,000 or 10 millions or 10 billion, how many ever. But even if it happens, imagine one person, one human, one individual is able to transform. And then what happens because of that? These butterfly are pollinators. What they do? They pollinate, they take the essence, and then they keep sharing it with other flowers. And then they give rise to their own new ways of growth and new ways of propagation. So even if one person, one individual out of you who actually kind of lives by it, who actually learns, applies these things and understand the the concept which I am trying to present over here through playful soul, prime change, this moksha, the dharma, the live to give. If you are able to live, understand, apply, and feel that, wow, this is something which is happening in me, and this is the only way it should happen. Why? Because this is the only way which exists. This is the only way which exists. There is no other option. Either there is this option, this one, roll and goal, this limited option, or there is this holistic, which is not actually an option, or the reality. So that's why decision, having a firm decision, making a firm decision, and living with that identity, meaning and experience, prime change, conscious human ascension to nurture gratitude and empathy. All these concepts become practical, that when you are talking to your mother, or you are going to talking to your clients, or maybe you are talking to your own self. How do we talk to our own self? From what perspective? Do we talk from the perspective of a playful soul, or as someone who identifies with the body's features as short, small, thin, dark, fair, all these kind of things? So that is something we are here for. Again, this is the concept from Bhagavad Gita. We are here to be the best version. So the best version, in which Krishna says that he compares himself with, I am the shark amongst the fishes. I am the eagle amongst the birds. I am the lion amongst the animals. So he is comparing himself with the best, and the you can say these are all the king of fishes, the king of birds, and the king of animals, or the queen, or whatever you may want to see it as. So he is comparing himself with the best. So for us, what is the model which we are following? Who are the people with whom we are comparing ourselves? Because I have seen in my own life that role models matters a lot, especially for our people. Our role models are our parents. For girls, females, they are mostly their uncles or their dads. For males, for boys, they are mostly their in terms of their parents, and also mostly their mothers. So how are we seeing our role models? Uh, Here, significance of role model. What kind of company are we keeping in? So the best thing I can say is that our role model should be nature itself, and in that nature, everything, right from the trees, the plants, the butterfly, the animals, the fishes, including the human beings around us. So if we can keep that role model, which is big one, then we become like that role model. We become like that nature, which is expansive. So same way here, he compared himself with the best ones. A couple of things about eagle is that, that when there is a storm which comes, right now there are quite storms which are happening because of the monsoon season. The birds, small birds, they go and rest and take shelter in trees and their nest or the buildings or other structures. uh, the eagle, when the storm comes, of course it also takes shelter, but what it does, it also goes out to use the storm and to soar in the sky higher than the storm, and to get the fun and thrill of that particular stormy condition. So it uses the storm to rise above itself. Its design is made in such a way that it's the only bird which can go out in the storm and survive, and not just survive, it can thrive and enjoy that process of enjoying that storm and challenging that storm and rising above it. So it can see that everything else, every other birds and animals are actually below that storm and suffering, scared. But the eagle has risen above the storm and enjoying it. So that is one of the features of the eagle bird. And again, same thing applies to our life: crisis, pain, suffering. Most people will blame, hide, defend, deny, all these things, distract. But only someone who is a playful soul, he will see that as an opportunity to passionately learn, apply, and grow, and use it as an material, as a challenge, as a thrill, as a creative, positive time pass, creative, positive role play in the midst where everyone is crumbling, suffering, complaining, blaming. The playful soul will radiate that joy, radiate that confidence, radiate that perspective of being in touch with something greater than circumstance. Also, the eagle eats only live food, unlike a vulture, which is also a big bird. But the vulture, even if it is high in the sky, it is always focusing on dead food, on dead animals. कहाँ कुछ मरा हुआ दिखता है, so the vulture comes swooping down and eats that dead animal. But you see a eagle, it hunts only live food. It goes only for live fresh food. Again, very important for us, being in the present, planning in the present, thinking in the present, having the perspective of the future and the past, and not living in the past and the future, which are dead, because the past is dead. It is something which has happened, and the future is also dead because it is not born yet. So both are dead. The only thing which is here, the reality, is the present moment, your body which is there, and the people around you, and what you can do to share, enhance your skills, work on our skills. That is something which is possible in the present moment. And it's not about complaining about the past or getting worried about the future. So that is also a very big quality of the eagle, which is there. And also the eagle, you don't see eagles like living in flock. They live either independently, or they have their own small kind of family. But they are not like flock, like sparrows or crows, yeah, like pigeons. They are moving in crowd and flock and packs. So they have their exclusive club, which again means that our company matters. And at the same time, when we start to live by playful soul, we'll see that there is always room at the top, and there are very few people who will live with these kind of notions and ideas and understanding, because it requires that kind of investment of our thought process, our energy, our dedication towards that way of living. When it comes to lion, it's something similar always, that when a lion or a lioness sees anything, so when a lion sees anything, any animal, what it sees that that's my food. I'm going to eat it. I'm going to have it for my meal. Yeah. So that is the food for the lion. It never thinks that I am going to get someone's food. It only thinks that this is my food. This is something where I'm going to get my meal from, whether it is a rabbit, whether it is a zebra, elephant, or hippo, whatever it is. It sees only with an attitude, this is my food. I'm going to feast on it. I'm going to nourish myself on it. Same way, playful soul attitude, whatever the playful soul experiences, goes through, whether big or small, pleasant or unpleasant, happy or sad, it is my food to nourish, to grow. The attitude is, I'm here to passionately learn and apply my learnings. So that is the attitude of a playful. So everything is seen only as an learning experience. What can I learn from this? What can I get from this in a new way of seeing? And how can I apply it in my day to day life? So that is the attitude. And that's why even symbols are so important, images are so important when it comes to uh, if you see uh, गरुड़ गरुड़ जो है eagle eagle is the uh, carrier of Lord Vishnu. I don't have a picture over here, but you may have seen the picture of Vishnu who is flying on Garud, on eagle, and you have seen uh, goddess Durga riding on a tiger. So these people are using everything possible, from images, from words, from mantra to the body, everything possible to make us remind only of our divine nature, of who we are, and from what space we must think from, what space we must live from, what space we must think from. And that's why, our culture is the only culture which will save the humanity, which will save the world. If anything that is going to save the world of all that is happening, it is going to be only Bharat and people who live by these values and who share these values and who understand these values in the right way, in the right perception, right kind of understanding, in a scientific, holistic way. Because the West, mostly people, even now here in India, we are all from scientific kind of inquiry. We doubt things, but we doubt things without trying to know the reality behind it. So once we know the reality behind it, we'll have right tools even to debate, even to answer, even to give back the right kind of answers to their doubts, and make them understand what the real beauty of this particular kind of science of yoga is all about, and what lies behind and beyond just the mere practice of physical yoga. So I believe we'll stop here, and by next week we will finish our happiness coaching. There is not much left. So by next week का जो session रहेगा वो those two would be hopefully the final sessions. I would want to show you just one simple exercise where that can be used by you in your practice, and also in practice if you do with your coach, with your clients, uh, a certain technique of breath work and a certain body work, body movement, wherein it can 5-10 minutes. Of course, you may be having an idea, but it's just a package which is there very easy, which can be used anytime, anywhere to loosen up your body energies, so that those who are uh, those who don't get time to do half an hour of yoga, 1 hour of yoga also practice, uh, then these 5-10 minutes of practices are something which is really powerful to get that, as I said, the brain into the state of uh, relaxed vibration, and for that healing and learning to happen, which is the super learning. So to make that super learning possible, we have to use our body, food, breath in such a way that we maintain our mind with that in that zone of super learning. So thank you very much again. Any comment, suggestion, feedback, or anything from your side?
Thank you for the wonderful examples. I think they were really nice this time, and we can really add it to our research or thinking that okay, all of these examples that were there, how do they relate to us? This is really something nice.
Thank you. Yes, indeed.
I liked how you said before Christ and after, like before Corona and after Corona. I really hope that things do change and people's perception, like including me, everybody, change for the better. And
Yes, yes.
yeah, and I also like the description that you gave for Sri Krishna as he regards himself as the shark among the fishes, or the lion among the mammals, or the
Eagle among the birds. Yeah,
among the birds. Yeah.
yeah. Wonderful. Thank you. Uh, Especially there, it's not possible. I also understand to grasp everything. But even if you grasp something out of it and you can apply that, that is a big, big achievement in itself and a big, big transformation. Because it is said that no change is small change. Every change is a big change. So thank you very much again. And
Sir, also about the movie Matrix that you were talking about, I was watching a YouTuber yesterday. So he was recommending watching a movie called Matrix, and I was thinking कि हाँ वो देखना है करके time. And you spoke
wow,
today. I mean, nice.
I
good.
think the before Christ and after Christ is actually happening because when people fall, if they follow the rules and really wear the mask, they will realize the point of mask is to make them meditative. Like notice each and every breath, and once they get fixed on the breath, because when I wear the mask, I see that I turn very meditative and I can notice each and every breath, each and every thought. So I believe the mask is an add-on that just really notice your breath and you will know where you're coming from, what space you're acting from, or what work you're doing, where are you doing from. So I felt really lately when, because there was so much traveling or anywhere I had to go. So that mask really made me very meditative. So I hope if people are, because some people really don't want to go into meditation. So I think the nature's call is this, that wear the mask. Otherwise, I go into meditation, else I really give you the virus to meditate and see where you're going wrong. So that was very nice example before Christ. And
Rupam, but I feel really very restrictive. When I wear a mask, I feel like just removing it off. I would prefer going to my terrace and just breathing normally. I cannot take, you know, that mask thing on.
Yeah, I think even I agree to Alicia. Even I feel extremely suffocated and annoyed with the mask on my face. Yeah, like the moment I wear it in 5-10 minutes, I'm like, can I just remove this and breathe normally? Because it's difficult to breathe through the mask. So I feel even the air is a little restricted in that way.
Yeah.
Rupam has taken an altogether entirely transcendental perspective of this, and this is something. And even though physically she might have felt some kind of an awkwardness or discomfort, but mentally her mind thought in such a way that this is something valuable, and it made her accept it because पहनना तो है ही है बाहर जाके, so why not accept it? Crazy. So that is also one thing. I believe most people are frustrated because of mask, and in the US there's a big debate going on. They should be starting school or not, and at the same time, people who are going out without mask, and the numbers are rising actually of the corona patients. So Yeah.
Yeah, well, if they are going to actually throw corona parties and everything, the numbers are going to rise anyway. And in general, they've taken this very lightly because everything has gotten back to normal in US. People are literally not wearing masks.
Yes,
They're
yes.
just going out partying. So the
Protest and all.
उनका लाइफस्टाइल ही ऐसा है कि they don't want to sit even with their family or maybe at home for a single minute, if to make them sit still. It is like an impossible. They can't exist without doing something and getting something done. So yeah, that's too much of activity and restlessness in their mind and body. That's what they are trying
People
to
think
do for.
that, Trump has not been wearing masks, so why should we? And then he started wearing it now, like after so many months.
That's why the leader and the role model concept. अपने मोदी जी आते हैं मास्क लगा के ऊपर से एक शॉल भी रहती है. So he is totally different category and league at all.
I think if only Rupam Sen, kind of transmits a little bit of her positive ideology towards US, it will help them wear the mask.
Yes.
No, so it was something like, when I was walking on the road with the mask, I realized that all the judgments that I'm making, that this person is supposed looking at me or this person is like this, I realized it's just coming from me. So when you wear the mask and you start noticing your breath very tiny, tiny, how they are coming out, with every thought you realize कि अभी judgment वाला thought आया कि ये person में से क्यों निकाल रहा है ट्रक में से, उसमें से ये realize हुआ कि अरे हाँ, कहीं ना कहीं मैं ये पोटेंशियल कहीं और यूज कर सकती हूँ, एंड I should not judge him, and somewhere he's coming from some space which I don't know, or maybe which I can't predict. So somewhere I realized when I walk on the street, it became very different for me. It made me see myself through. When I wore that mask, I really saw that the thoughts reflect me, myself. So that's how I felt. It's so meditative, and that's what the nature wants maybe out of this situation, that please wear the mask and stay inside for some day, like really just sit with yourself and just calculate whether what all you're doing उसमें से तुम कुछ काट सकते हो, कुछ unnecessary चीजें हैं कुछ दे सकते हो. तो वो मुझे लगा कि काफी अच्छा बेनिफिट है अगर हम, ऑल्दो बहुत रेस्टलेस मैं भी थी, but once you do that process of self speculation, or some people who are not doing are only getting the virus, abroad में इतना फैल गया because they didn't respect it. Somewhere for me also it was very difficult, but धीरे धीरे realize हुआ कि हाँ इसका भी बहुत बड़ा रोल है.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, I told that like, I was thinking about इतना जिंदगी में इतना सारा मास्क डाला है हम लोग ने. We are playing so many roles which are nothing but mask on our mind and ego. एक मास्क थोड़ा डाल दो थोड़ा टाइम के लिए बाहर, क्या जाता है तुम्हारा? Because we are good at masking and wearing mask anyways, which are like a cover and hideouts for ourselves. So in that sense, this is nothing. But yes, this is a new thing. That's why we actually feel thoda bahut discomfort because of it. Great, good conversation.
I
So
think mask is better. It is like a face shield would be much better. Because through eyes also it comes. It's just not through your mouth or your nose. So I think that would be more restriction free plus more safe. पता नहीं.
you may try and see face shield डाल के अपने टीम पे फोटो भेज दो, so that I give up mask.
मास्क निकालने के लिए ही रहती हूँ. बाहर से घूमने के आने के बाद I just be here alone. Then I breathe. That is fine.
हाँ, yeah, face shield से सांस तो अच्छी आएगी. Yes, that I agree. Great, great.
Yes, everyone
Okay.
is
So,
different.
yes.
Very good.
What?
Everyone is at a different level of their journey, and somehow it's beautiful that they can accept it and they can embrace it and speak about it. So it's really beautiful.
Barabar, ekdam barabar. Yes, that's what is required. So I hope you continue this beautiful journey from here on. Now onwards, the rest of the day, you're going to make it the best of the day and bring the prime change and be the playful soul you are. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Yes, coming Tuesday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a nice
Have a good day,
weekend.
all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.